My name is Anita. It's been about 7.5 years. I've been diagnosed with chronic Lyme and co-infections, been treated for heavy metals, mold toxicity, at one point, adrenal fatigue. The great thing about this program is you forget about so many things. So I have to go back and remember, like, oh, what did I really struggle with? Yeah, in the beginning, I couldn't handle sounds, light. I had to be in a room by myself. I had to be in bed a lot. I could barely get up to go to the bathroom or make meals or take showers. I even had to hire some college students for a while to be with me while my husband was gone because 8 hours alone just felt like I just needed help. I didn't feel safe. I stopped driving. I did have pain. I wouldn't say pain was the major symptom. It was more the severe fatigue and severe brain fog. My journey was one where we were teachers internationally, and so we taught in Kuwait for 8 years and then Morocco for a year. There was 5 years where we moved to a different country or different state every year, and I just thought it was an adventure and fun. And now in hindsight, I realize I had really neglected my body and kind of pushed through. Another part of my perfect storm was that my dad passed away when we were in Morocco, and I didn't understand how to process that grief. I just kind of shoved it in and kept going. And then when we arrived stateside, I was teaching full time. We were renovating a house. I had some health issues, and it just kind of all compounded. It got to a place where I couldn't work anymore, even though I loved my job, and I wasn't able to handle stress. Like I started to notice, I'm reacting to stress a lot differently than before, and I don't have tools to cope with this. I had a friend that told me about DNRS, and I looked into it and I did the training, and I thought, great, I have all the tools. But then I didn't implement all the tools. I didn't do all the pillars, and started to kind of go after another program. She had healed with DNRS too, and I did more like somatic work for a year, thinking, okay, I'll just do an hour, but of body work because the visualizations were too hard, and marginally improved. But for so many years, I was following different recovery stories of people that had gotten their life back. And it was so inspirational. I'm like, I want this to be me someday. And I knew that I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so in the fall, I decided, you know what, I know about these living DNRS community groups, and I'm just going to bite the bullet and do all of it. And so I joined a community group, which was transformational. Like I really just poured everything into, like my focus was, I'm going to do this with everything I can, all of that I have, and quickly saw significant improvements. For so long, I was chasing symptoms and going from doctor to doctor to doctor to treatment to treatment to treatment, spending hundreds of, probably over $100,000. And it felt too easy to think that this is just a brain impairment and I need to heal my brain. And that by healing my brain, all of these other symptoms will just go quiet. That was hard for me to get to that place, but now I see how significant it was. There were so many things that I had dreamed of doing for years that slowly I would start to introduce them again. And I'm like, I can do this, and I feel good, and I'm like present and connected and engaged, and I have joy, and it was so life-giving. I remember in the videos Annie saying, even if it doesn't feel good, just keep going, just do the work and trust the process. And I would faithfully do all the pillars and not really see improvement. But then one day, doing the exact same thing that I'd always been doing, I felt different, and there was a shift. Oh, it felt amazing. Like all of a sudden I felt like I'm back. It felt so good. Something I've noticed in this journey was that for the first time in my life, I felt shame. Like, oh man, I just feel so bad. Like I want to be able to serve other people and be involved and feel connected and valuable. And I remember one time looking up what part of the brain holds the shame emotion. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's limbic system. that seemed to like really concrete in my mind, like cement the idea of like, I have got to heal my brain, because shame was never something that was part of my story. And then all of a sudden it just kept coming back and back and back, and being able to recognize like, okay, it truly is that my brain needs to heal, and seeing the benefit of the work and how, our brain governs every other system. So of course the other systems are struggling because my brain is sending false messages. It's been really exciting to see how I've gained capacity. I'm walking every day. I'm a piano teacher, so I'm able to take on more students, and I have the capacity to do it. I'm definitely still training. My hope is to someday be able to go overseas again, with ease, and to be able to work, 8-hour day if I wanted to. So that's still something I'm working towards. I've been able to start going to my son's activities, which for so many years I just had to be on the sidelines for, which was a big thing I wanted to heal. Getting to be more involved with my husband and doing fun activities and going on adventures. We've always loved going to new places and traveling and, learning new things and doing new things. And now I'm in a place where I can do that. And my ability is just continuing to grow. For many years, I dreamed of being able to hike in Sedona again with my husband on my favorite trail. And, I could see all of the trail so clearly in my mind. But then to be able to do it again, and not just do it, but go farther than I've ever hiked before, and have the stamina and energy. I could have kept going, but we ran out of time. And that was such a good feeling to just, like, I could have done more and I didn't have to. And being able to be present in that and taking in all the sights and the sounds and the smells, and just that feeling of like victory and strength again was so wonderful. Something that's happened recently was that I was approached to play violin for 3 of the Christmas Eve services. There was no violin music, so I would have to compose the part that I would be playing based off of what they were singing, which also meant I had to like hear music and translate it onto sheet music, and then take that music and write a violin part that would complement it. So good for my brain. That was definitely a stretch outside of what my training zone has been, but I had the tools, thanks to DNRS. I'm like, I know I can do this. And even though my limbic system was loud, I thought I'm just going to walk through it, use my tools. I know I can do this. And so I was able to do it. And it was so life-giving. And I was surprised at what I was able to do, and just really thankful for the opportunity. I realize in hindsight how important the community of the coaching classes was. It's fascinating. You think that you can do it on your own, but when you are part of a community and you see other people that see you, and you can share each other's victories and, cheer each other on, it just helps you exponentially in your healing process and feeling confident and being seen, and just having those victories. And that's something I realize, I think a couple weeks into the coaching classes, I realized I found my smile. And I felt like I hadn't smiled for years because everything just felt so hard. So to be able to get to a place where I could feel joy, and I smiled because I just, I was happy. I'm like, it was just wonderful to get to that place. And now I do the Share a Laugh classes, and I feel like that has been such a great tool, because I start my day out and it just kind of sets a foundation for my day. I spent so many hours listening to healing testimonies. I'd go to YouTube channels, and I found different people that's all they do is share testimonies of people. Or I'd go to DNRS and listen to all the testimonies of people that have healed, and it feels like so far away, that ability to heal and to be able to have your life back. But doing this program, like, I see how it's bringing that life back to me, the life that I had dreamed of for so many years. And I'm just so thankful. So often with this work, you think it's so far away, but it's really like this cloud over you. And the sun's there. You just don't see it. So you just got to keep doing the work and let the clouds kind of part, and then you get to see the sun. So I would say to people, just keep going. Like, this works. It takes work, but keep going. You'll get there.